Oh my god. Alright. It's been a long time. It's gonna be a very long video. Hello everyone, my name is RWBY, and welcome to my reaction to RWBY Volume 9, Chapter 1. Scroll ahead if you're just here for the reaction. There'll be a handy-dandy little guide in playhead. Because this is going to be a very long video. I can already tell I have a lot that I want to say, and I feel like it's going to be a while after I'm done actually filming the reaction before I end the video. The first order of business is, if you are watching this on YouTube on the Saturday after this episode that I'm reacting to came out, you could have had early access because I am doing a Patreon for my reactions this volume for Volume 9. For $5 a month, you can get early access for the moment that I'm done editing them. I have a lot to say about this episode before I get started. I already knew that I was kind of gonna bloat this section of the reaction video, so I took all my thoughts, I put them in a separate video, and you can go watch that if you want, but I am going to do some quick recaps of the talking points that I had in that video. Basically, everything that I'm looking forward to out of Volume 9 in general, as well as kind of this episode, but mostly just Volume 9. And the first thing is that RWBY's arc is completely central to this volume. You cannot have a Volume 9 without having RWBY's character arc going through some form of trauma, as well as, I'm sure, a lot of things that we don't even know about yet. This is her volume, and that's basically the thing that we've known about Volume 9 for the longest time. We had the RTX 2021 sneak peek clip that was entirely in RWBY's perspective, basically, of her living through the trauma on the yellow brick road and all of these things. Then we have, as well, another thing. I believe that Neo's real purpose in the narrative overall is in Volume 9. I believe that Volume 9 and the story that is going to be told through Neo here in this volume is the reason why she was brought back. She's having to be brought back in Volume 6 overall, because you're not in this volume if it's not important for you to be in this volume, essentially. And Neo and RWBY need to have scenes together. They just do. I want them to be able to have fighting words, get into actual fights, and just in general, they need to talk as much as Neo can talk. Another thing, Volume 9, I want it to just go off the deep end into a darker, more magical story. I want this episode to end with some complete tone shift, essentially. This episode specifically, but overall, I see Volume 9 as the plot now having the ability to open up into a whole nother layer of magic that is on Remnant, another layer of darkness that is on Remnant. I just see the show over time getting darker and darker and darker and more magical, from things that were implied to things that then became directly shown. And there's no better way to show a lot of things than on a metaphysical island that is reacting to emotions and forcing RWBY along maybe a specific path. I do believe that the island itself is going to be a character in this volume. And when I say the island, I more mean the tree. It's just kind of that we've been used to calling it an island because of that end credit scene in Volume 8. But the setting itself is going to sort of become its own character. That's basically what I see. I do want Bumblebee to finally have a confirmation. As much as I don't ship, it's kind of impossible to ignore Bumblebee as a thing that exists and is very much happening. And I just see that in Volume 7 and 8 especially, even though it did have quite a lot of content in Volume 7, and not nearly as much in Volume 8, but it was definitely there, it didn't commit. It was being a slow burn because you have a volume like this, a volume like Volume 9, where they can fully express and get the time to develop and resolve things and confirm things in more proper ways. On a tangential note to that, I also do still love Blake for reasons that are entirely separate from Yang, and I do see Volume 8 as having the best character work for Blake since, like, Volume 4 and 5. So I want Volume 9 to continue that to where Bumblebee very much matters and is important for Blake, and there's a lot of merit to their dynamics and what those characters can do for each other. but there is still so much more to Blake that I want to see come through, like came through in Volume 8. For Jean, I don't know overall what I want for Jean, because it's very clear, again, that you don't go into a volume like Volume 9 if you're not important. And I did kind of clown on Jean. It might have been a little bit of slander. I did kind of say that Jean is a side character who doesn't deserve to be on the Volume 9 poster, which, by the way, here is the Volume 9 poster if you haven't seen it yet. It's very beautiful. Jean's not on it, neither is Neo. Yet the Cheshire Cat and Little are on it. So, anyway, I kind of said Jean didn't deserve to be on this because this show is acknowledging him as a side character whose story is not nearly as important to RWBY as a whole as RWBY, Weiss, Blake, and Yang. So, kind of said that, and I don't regret it. I know that Volume 9 is going to be very important with Jean. There's going to be very important reasons for him to be in this volume. There's going to be very important things for his narrative arc, I'm sure. And as much as we think that the armor knight in the fire is Jean, and there's a lot of things going on with that, I do believe that that is Jean. As much as we haven't seen him, that's a very good reason for why we haven't. I just want Volume 9 to tell its story with Jean. I'm totally good with Jean's arc ending in Volume 9. I don't know. Ultimately, I don't have anything that I want for Jean more than I want the story to tell its own story with Jean. But in general, Volume 9 feels like it was made for me, specifically with me in mind, specifically my story. Rooster Teeth wrote it for me, nobody else, and if you don't like it, blame me. Because they wrote it for me, essentially. Now, as far as how I expect this specific episode, this premiere to go, I've already kind of talked about this a little bit, but we've already seen 7 minutes of this episode. We saw RWBY fall through the world with Neo attacking her. We saw that POV. We saw her waking up on the island. We saw her going into the forest and meeting Little and having a moment with Little and all of that stuff. That was 7 minutes of content, all of which is pretty much, if not confirmed already, like, we can understand that it's in episode 1. So we already have seen a fair amount of this episode already. Ultimately, what I think is going to happen is Team RWBY is going to reunite in this episode, and they're going to see Penny, probably, because that's not something that you can hold for later. Like, we need this episode to establish everything that Volume 9 is going to work with. Or not everything, but most of everything, right? What I want, essentially, is some sort of big plot bomb to be dropped incredibly early on in this volume, if not the first episode itself. What I want for Volume 9 is to have a sort of similar arc as Volume 6 did with The Lost Fable, where The Lost Fable is front-loaded in Volume 9 and it causes a bunch of ripple effects that last the rest of the volume. We have this big plot bomb for Salem and Ozma at the very beginning, and the rest of the volume has to work with that. So I want a lot of these deeper secrets of the island, deeper secrets of Ever After, of the Wonderland, of Volume 9 itself, whatever this realm is, to open up to the heroes incredibly early on, even if we don't get the full picture of what exactly that looks like until they have to work through things and find things out for themselves about how exactly this place is or is not entirely different from Remnant. And I want that big plot bomb to sort of happen at the end of the premiere, like the plot bomb for Salem in Volume 6 was at the end of Chapter 2. And with that all being said, I could be screeching and crying and screaming and throwing up for like hours because RWBY's back, and I'm looking at it on my monitor right now, and it almost doesn't necessarily mean as much for me to react to it as I'm looking at the thumbnail on my screen. Like, I'm just happy in and of itself with the situation being that it is back in the first place in general. 17-minute episode that I can start watching at any moment, but like, the mere fact that it's back, I could be hooting and hollering for hours in my chair, but this is a reaction video and we need to get on with it. So, that's what I'm doing. Alright, Volume 9, Chapter 1, in 3, 2, 1... now. Alright. POV?
Is the story of a girl
no.
who had a lot of problems.
Alright, yes, give me this. Who is this narrator? I need to know. I need to know. I've had thoughts. We know that she's gonna be important. There's no way she's not. If that is Alex herself or Summer. And the POVs begin. When is the rest of her dialogue? Is she gonna have a little moment in every episode, or is this gonna... like, what's... God, this... they made this so intense. It's still so intense, and it's been like over a year since I've seen this clip fully. But it hits. Yeah, okay. And then she and Neo have this tussle as they go down. Goes to Oscar, goes to Penny, goes to Yang, then to Penny, I guess. Yeah, oh, God. What I want to know... did they... yeah. What is... God. And... yeah. Okay. That being Yang, I believe. Oh, God. I've already seen this, and it's so tense. I'm just... yeah. Yeah. I need to breathe. I've seen this already, and it's... it just hits. Is there going to be another scene inserted from before she actually goes into the forest? Because these were shown separately. I wonder if there's a scene between them or not. No, there's not. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to the rocking horsefly and the cheese carrots and all the other just wild enough things that we're gonna see. This bird, I swear. This bird just loves to make fun of RWBY. I don't know what it is. Where is the mouse? Show me Lucy Christian the mouse. What is this bird? There it is. Little needs to be on all the merchandise. And I know they said like merch will take a while, but how don't you sell that mouse in some form? And then she has a moment. She starts tearing up, starts crying, and the island responds to her. So, is the island going to respond to her in a way that pushes Team RWBY and others away from her, maybe? In some point down the line. Gimme. Dude, they need to do as much of that cartoony animation as they possibly can. I love it. Like, Little is the perfect candidate for that kind of information or animation.
Why are you yelling? Did you want to share?
Oh. I guess it's only fair.
No,
I love this mouse. I love this mouse.
I guess, I've just never really spoken to a mouse before. Well,
I guess I've never spoken to you before. What are you?
God, the animation on that mouse is
Well,
just
a huntress.
all the time. And then there's
A lot
this.
of things.
Pick one thing to be, that's what you have to be. No,
Ruby
Ruby's
Rose.
more complex than that.
And
She
to
can't be
Ruby
distilled
Rose
down into
is
one thing.
Your purpose?
And yet,
No,
what does this identity and
name.
purpose mean for this
Do you
island?
have a name?
I
I'm
want it.
so
I
young,
want to
so
know. I
not
want
yet.
this to.
How about I call you?
There's something there.
Little for now. Would that be alright?
Just one little.
What is that gonna mean? What kind of plot bomb is that gonna lead to? I need to know. I want this volume to just go as bonkers as it possibly can. And from the looks of
Have you
things,
seen
it will.
Other people?
So I'm just saying.
Me.
Exactly like you?
No,
No,
not
not exactly like me.
I mean, we're similar,
Mhm.
but different.
But different.
I'm sure it'll make sense eventually.
Oh, little.
One
You're
would
too
have
pure for this
long
world.
Blonde hair. The other
Another
has
has
uh,
cat
ears.
ears.
sorry, I should have known. I've seen plenty of cartoons.
Well, I've never
I've
seen
seen anyone who
does
does
or
or
doesn't
doesn't look like you.
But
But
maybe
someone in my village has. Oh, they have.
Finds out for
Oh, they have.
Since
They
we
might know a
stuff.
couple people. And Ruby's gonna have to come to terms with the fact that Weiss is also down here because she doesn't
More
know
of
that
these
yet.
wouldn't hurt.
All right, what's here now? This is everything beyond this is new.
I wouldn't exactly say I'm certain
So-
about anything.
So she and Weiss are together already.
Gamble Shroud fell after you and Ruby, but before I did. And we found each other, so... What is this place? I don't know. None of my guesses really make sense. Blake...
Yeah, so time and space are a little distorted, but maybe not in the way that everyone thought. Oh,
I'm really glad you are too.
yeah, they all have to
And if we
confront their
are, then
deaths.
That means Yang and Ruby might be.
Oh,
Weiss, can you... What happened after we fell?
yeah. Ooh, she has to.
We should focus on finding everyone else first.
Oh
I think I see something.
no. Oh. Oh, do you see Penny though? Oh no, she sees Gamble Shroud stuck in the vines. They're gonna get caught too.
Well, good news. I'm low on dust. That wasn't an invitation, Weiss. Sorry.
Oh god. Oh, music. I can't wait to dissect all the music that we're gonna hear. This is already sounding so fun. Oh, it's just growing back. Yeah, they can't... What the hell is this? What is the lights doing? Oh no. Oh, these littles.
Trap has been sprung.
Oh, who are these?
Justice befalls I pray.
Are they talking?
How
I'm
many?
worried about right now.
How many different? Oh god.
Are you drooling on me?
I don't think we're gonna hear too much about. Oh,
And on this day, we were not the
I don't think we're gonna hear too much from these mice. I don't think they're gonna be too centrally important to the volume, but it is so fun to see them now. How Little got tired.
It's your cat friend. The new
Ha!
adversary approaches. We must liberate our king.
Oh god. Oh god, they're so cartoony.
Sad. But then we talked, and she seemed less sad. Then she pulled the cheese out of the ground on her own.
Well, no, we need these people. Yeah, okay, yeah, they're
Sincerest apologies.
they're taken
Please
out now.
understand
Okay,
that our kind is a bit skeptical of cats.
just a little bit, just a little tiny bit.
We understand. If we could ask, have you seen anyone else who looks like us? Long, blonde hair, looks kind of scary, but isn't. But could be if she wanted to.
Oh, we're not gonna have that much time for this levity, are we? We're not.
Thanks anyway. Before all of this, I was trying to go to that cliff over there. I
So,
figured going to higher ground and getting my bearings would be good.
Sounds like the best option for now.
If you
so she's having a run-in with a raccoon right now, Yang,
don't really have
from the
anything to
trailer.
look at,
Yeah.
Oh, she's just
I can be your trusty guide.
yeah, Little is just a I don't know, lowborn in the village sort of thing.
Or
Doesn't have an identity
I
yet.
guess we can figure it out
Oh,
ourselves.
the
At least
the
I got
horse
to
is
his
flying
back.
again.
We need to hurry. Yang's been down here the longest, and we still haven't found her.
Weiss, I was wondering, if you fell, and are there others down here too? What happened?
She doesn't want to say it. She doesn't want to say
I
it
don't know
yet.
if anyone else fell. No. I think we should find Yang, if she's even down here. Then we can go over everything.
I just...
She can't hide it for so long. It's gonna happen. But I think they would understand. Is this the Jabberwocky thing? No, this is... What? What is this thing? Searching, stalking. Detecting. The animation on this is just... It's what it needs to be. Oh, I don't like this thing at all. I think it's larger than I thought it was. What is this?
Proceed. Retreat. Point. Return.
So it'll come back, essentially. Ugh. I am so uncomfortable right now.
Damn it! You weren't supposed to be here.
If you thought we wouldn't come for you, then you must have forgotten who raised me.
Oh
What happened to
no.
your arm?
That's
I
the
don't
summer
think-
mention number 1.
Why not? You seem trustworthy.
What is that?
Oh, that's sweet.
I sort of thought you'd be a little happier to see us.
I am. It's just...
Yeah.
It must have gone pretty bad, huh?
Yeah, she didn't. Everyone's got some catching up to do. And she needs to say, everyone's here now, so she can say it.
Everything happened so fast. No one came back from Vacuo to help. And Penny, Jean tried to help, but she sacrificed herself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think everyone thought that was gonna be about. Is it done? No.
No idea what happened to the relic.
No idea what happened to the relic.
Or what happened to everyone in Vacuo.
Yeah, it's like, that seems a
Or
little
where
too short.
Neo's-
Maybe everyone else made it. I don't know, but I have a bad feeling.
Neo's here too.
Yeah, Neo. They know Neo's here.
Are you alright?
They don't know Jean's here.
She attacked me when we were falling.
Okay. Ruby's weapon is still missing. Yang's arm was stolen.
Just go back to the
I
beach.
think we focus on getting
Just go
everything
back to the beach.
Then we can figure out exactly how to get out of here.
Come on.
Wherever here is.
Oh no, what is that?
What if we can't leave? Or what if...
What if we're dead? Until you all found me, I thought for sure I was.
No.
Oh,
I
this
don't
this
think we're
music
dead.
cue.
I know how this sounds, but... I think we're in a fairy tale.
Yeah. Don't let this be how the episode ends. Come on. All right, I'm going to look at voice credits now Just female voice. They're not ready to say who that is yet. Oh my god. That's so mean. That is so mean. Brendan Blaber, Jamie Battle, Richard Norman, Jabberwocker. Okay. That makes sense. I want to say this is the person who voices the raccoon too. They had posted a raccoon emoji on the day that the Volume 9 release date trailer came out, and it's kind of all but confirmed that he's also the raccoon that stole Ying's arm. So it sounds like at the start of Chapter 2 they're going to have that talk about recapping everything that happened since they fell, which I thought was going to be in this chapter, but I guess it wasn't. Oh, I guess Taylor McNee did have some dialogue in this, but it wasn't new. Oh, God. All right. Oh, my God. Oh, man, RWBY is back, dude. Oh, my goodness. All right. All right. Ugh. Why? It's so interesting that they put the encounter with the Jabberwocker at the beginning and didn't, in fact, like, I would have, I don't know if I would have left it until after they do the recap that's probably going to be at the start of the next chapter. But and I guess in a sense I was kind of hoping for more out of this episode, as I was talking about with as I was talking about with wanting there to be this full dive, this full send into, okay, here's something that we're going to have to understand that we as the audience didn't understand until now. But you know, as we've known about the fairy tale, as we've seen this island's grand view already, and that was what the episode ended on. There are 10 chapters, and I think just because I've known this to be limited to only 10 chapters, I've kind of been hoping that, like, I just really want to get the most out of this island, this wonderland, this ever after, this tree, whatever it's going to give us. I want to be able to get the most out of it, so I kind of wanted to not waste any time getting up to speed. So I was kind of looking for more out of this episode to get everything up to speed so that episode 2 could be mostly entirely new things. And obviously, when we've already seen 7 minutes of this episode, with the opening or with the end credits and with the title sequence, it's only gonna amount to being like, this was a 15-minute episode. This was like a 15-minute, 10-second episode. So really, we've already seen half of it, and the other half of it isn't going to be, it can only do so much. And I do like that we got a lot of time with Weiss and Blake at the start. I do like that Yang has already had her encounter with this Jabberwocker. At the same time, I don't think Yang would know anything more about it than what we could have told from just the encounter that we've seen. So far, it's acting and behaving a lot like the Hound did in Volume 8, where it's just talking in simple words and phrases. For the Hound, that was take the girl. For this, it's searching, looking, scanning, sensing, detecting, and then as it leaves, it's basically saying, like, you'll see me again. I'm gonna matter later. I'm gonna come back for you, essentially. So whatever that thing, I imagine, reports to is going to matter, because if it is going to be so similar to the Hound, it's working for somebody else, not itself. Or that might just kind of be a misdirection, because we're so used to the Hound that we think that's true about this too. But I do think that it is reporting to something else, somebody else, maybe. This figure of the blacksmith is some of the most stark imagery in the volume. So it's kind of like, that's gonna matter. What are we gonna see from them? And it's hard for me to take my mind off of them and think about some other character in this Wonderland as much as, like... And then it's also, like, what role is Neo going to play? Because, at least from the trailer, the imagery that we have for Neo is one of belonging, is one of having a place among a crowd. Whether that crowd is a Roman holiday crowd, or if it is a Wonderland crowd, we don't know. All in all, I do see this very much as what... I do still see this very much as what Neo was brought back for. I am still looking and thinking about what Alex is, or who Alex is to this Wonderland. If she is the original girl who fell, does that mean that time here just stops because she's been as young as she looks for as long as she has? And I love her, like, bow, but I feel like there's so much here that looks like Penny. There's so much here that has similar design conventions, both to old world people and to Penny at the exact same time, and it makes me uncomfortable. I don't know if it's like because she's going to have a similar narrative path to Penny and a similar narrative arc to Penny, a similar relationship with Ruby as Penny had, or if it is for the audience to make the audience feel about her the same way that they felt about Penny, for it's like to us find a similar sense of comfort or a similar appeal to her as what Penny had. I could go on forever, and I've already been recording for an hour. God, this is fantastic. It is so great for Ruby to be back. It is wonderful to have these new characters and to see our first glimpse, mostly through the trailer, or mostly through the intro. I keep calling the frickin' intro a trailer because I'm so used to that, because I'm so used to Ruby not being here. And the only experience we have of Ruby being something that is had through trailers and not the bona fide show itself. Oh my god, this is just utterly fantastic. I do appreciate, again, having the moments of levity between Blake and Weiss at the beginning, because we're not gonna be able to have that for too long. But you know, it's just like, I don't know, I'm just sitting here having a good time and saying randomly coherent things, if coherent at all, as they come to mind. Gosh. Just like, yeah, I'm in that same place I was when I started this video of just like, Ruby's back, I could sit here making incoherent noises till the cows come home, but at some point I gotta watch the episode, and now it's like, at some point I've gotta edit this video, I gotta move on and get this out to some extent. I am gonna have some other content to come through, not just reaction videos for Volume 9. I'm currently working on a very, very large video that I started on a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of holding me back from other creative works. I'm going to obviously get this out as fast as possible, maybe get a separate intro video out as fast as possible, but there is another video that is legitimately over 3 hours long, probably, that I'm in the process of getting out. It was a video that became a lot bigger and a lot more intense than I thought it was going to be, and I'm gonna try and edit it in a minimalist sense to sort of get it out as fast as possible, because I don't want to hold back the rest of my Volume 9 content so much. That's all I really have to say about this. Volume 9 Chapter 1 is officially here. I've seen the episode, I've seen the intro, not the trailer. I've talked about it as much as I possibly really can at this point. I've dissected the trailer. One last time, if you want to have early access to these reaction videos, please do consider supporting me on Patreon for $5 a month. That's all I've got to say at this point. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. I'm RWBY Rising. It's very good to be back.